Hello! I have decided that today we're going to be doing the thumbnail that I said we'd do on yesterday's stream. So tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Grounded, I think it's called Grounded, with 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚. Hola 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚, how's it going, man? I hope you're having a really nice day. So tomorrow I'm going to be streaming Grounded with 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚 at about 7 PM, I think, Eastern time. And today, just going to chill. I've got to make a thumbnail. I've been drawing a thumbnail, so we're going to load that into Photoshop, and we're going to, yeah, we're gonna make a lovely thumbnail. I am not too bad. It's been a busy few weeks, but going okay. Right, so let's load in this line art, and then we're gonna have to scale it. Okay, so it would be about that wide. We may need to scale it down a little bit. Oh no, that should be fine. That should be fine. So I did this line art in Illustrator. A couple of people have asked me previously how I do the art stuff that I do for all of the character stuff, and this is all done, like, I mostly use Illustrator, but I have like a bunch of sketchbooks behind me, and I tend to draw things out and then I'll scan them in, and then I'll do line art of them after that. It's dependent on what I'm doing, though, to be honest. And this is the first drawing of me without the box on the head, so that's going to be interesting. I've also made a little swatch thing up here. Now this is a copy. I have a larger one down here, just in case I need it. But Grounded, I don't really know much about the game, but it kind of seems like a somewhat cutesy game, so I figured doing like pastel colors would look really good with it. So that's what I'm going to do. These few colors here, this one here is like Lag's skin tone, but a lot of this is like greens and stuff, so we'll be taking little swatch copies of a lot of this and just block coloring in, and then from there we'll start doing other stuff. So the first thing that I normally like to do is, under this, I'm going to go to blending options, and then I'm going to go to color overlay, and I'm going to set that into being like, make sure it's definitely black, because I tend to work in Illustrator and 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚 just out of force of habit. I used to be a graphic designer, so 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚 is like essentially a print format. But in here we're working RGB, so the black sometimes is like a very dark purple or a very dark blue. So let's just make sure it's solidly black. And if we toggle that, I do think it wasn't black as well. Let's just zoom in. Yeah, see, it's like a really, like a dark red this time. But we want it to be black. There we go. So we've got me, and we have 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚. We're stood on a leaf. We've got some backgroundy stuff. We've got a giant Coke can. I forgot about the Coke can. So I have no grey swatches, but we have this light blue, and that'll probably do just fine for that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this layer to multiply. Actually, what we'll do is we'll put that into a folder, and we'll call that line art. And then we'll just set that whole folder to multiply. And then we're going to create another new folder here, drop that layer in there. There we go. And this is going to be block colorings. There we go. So I guess the first thing we want to do is probably get the block coloring in for the ground. So I'm gonna yeah, let's select the darker one. So in today's stream, I'm gonna go over a couple of processes that I tend to do when I'm doing digital painting. One of the things that I've been asked about a bunch, I've helped 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗚 with it, with his art, is a process called line grad, and it's often done in comic books. It was popularized by Marvel and DC, but it was also used in a lot of anime and manga. The version that I do is a variant of line grad called lasso grad. So we'll be doing some of that in this. But we've been keeping up with this new schedule. I missed that first day, but we made up for it on Tuesday by doing the zombie apocalypse, and then yesterday we did our first retro day. We played on some SSX. I went through the history of the game, which was fun. I actually have a thing that I'm going to be doing on my Discord that's related to the retro gaming stream, as I have like a stream series planned, and I'm going to get people's input, and we're going to have some fun doing that at some point. I could just paint straight through these because it's all going to be layered anyway, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not. We could, but we shouldn't. But we definitely could. So if there's a little bit of colour spill, it won't matter. Because this is essentially like background blocking is what we're doing. I could select the area using a polygonal lasso tool, but one of the issues that I have with the polygonal lasso tool and digital painting is I get lazy and then my skills go down. So I don't use a graphics tablet. I use a mouse for all of my drawing and painting. Because, well, two reasons. My graphics tablet is very old, and when I was learning doing concept art on a computer, the graphics tablets weren't very good back then, so I kind of just got used to using a mouse. It sounds like sheer madness using a mouse for this type sort of thing, but when you've sort of like grown with it, it's not so bad. It sounds a lot worse than it is. We will paint. So whilst I am doing this, one of the topics that I was asked by, I've been asked by a couple of people what my thoughts are on sort of toxicity online over the past few years, and it's something that I've been writing. I tend to write a lot of essays. I enjoy writing a lot, but I figured I would write an essay, and I have called it Toxic Online Content, or TOC for short. And as people have been asking me a bunch about it, I actually had a friend of mine ask about it because they're doing a paper on it at university about how online content can be toxic and the different varied ways that it can be toxic. So I figured today, whilst we're doing stuff, we'd maybe just discuss some of that, because it's an interesting topic of conversation. And I think a lot of people don't understand quite the repercussions that sometimes they can have or may be having when they're making content. So one of the really common ones, I apologize if you can hear my cat in the background. She is awakened like the Kraken. Right, let's yeah, we're painting there. So yeah, a lot of content creators are just as guilty of it as journalists tend to be. And there's varying different forms. So as part of me helping them, we decided that we would do a bunch of research into exactly what constitutes as toxic online content. And, you know, we found that there's a fair amount of just... For example, if you are making a video on YouTube and it's full of clickbait and it's just showing off of this fake lifestyle that you have, you know that the end result is people being envious of you. Is that then toxic? Is that toxic behavior to try and get a negative emotion out of somebody? Well, by its definition, ordinarily, yes, yeah, that would be considered toxic, but we accept that in the modern era, that that's just something people do. That, you know, there's lots of online things and they sort of showcase bits, and that one of their whole things is to kind of just make you feel like you've not done that well. The Minecraft community has a huge surge in toxic content. It's something that we discussed the other day on stream in relation to... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. In relation to builders saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be building a house out of dirt and diorite. It's Minecraft. You can do what you want. It's one of the great things about the game is that you can build using what you want. Nobody would do that with Lego, right? No one would turn around and be like, oh my god, you used a 2x8 in that. Smash it to pieces. How dare you? Part of the fun of Minecraft is the ability, the open-ended creativity that you have. But there's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on with the building community, where they'll say, oh, well, that's not done right. And sure, that's an opinion. It's not done right by the standard that they hold themselves to, but that's an opinion thing. That's a bias that they have to themselves. And that would therefore constitute as toxic behavior. Again, you're making somebody feel bad. Often, I've been like an admin and moderator on a bunch of... what is this lump? I think it's the top of a rock. I think it's the top of a rock. You kind of... You don't know who the people on the server are. You don't know how old they are, and you will often get these people going, oh, that looks like shit. You don't know how old they are. That could be a 9-year-old kid you're being mean to. And if they want to make a house out of diorite and mud, or, you know, diamond blocks and red wool, now, do I think that would look good? No. No, I don't. I don't think that would look good for me personally. But it's an artistic choice, a creative choice, and therefore it's all subjective. So that's another sort of way that people tend to be toxic in online content. You'll get these builders that will say something is wrong, something's not done right. And although, yeah, they might have some knowledge on building, it's all about meta. It's all about meta. Great example of this is the MOBA game League of Legends. So it used to be, and it might have gone back to being this now. It's been a very long time since I was in the esports scene. This is knowledge that is going on a decade old. But it used to be you would have one on the top lane, you would have one in mid lane, 2 on bottom lane, and then you would have one in the jungle. And that used to be how it was run. And if you deviated away from that, you were playing the game wrong. That's how a lot of professional players saw it. I say professional because they weren't getting paid, they weren't esports people, but if you did it any differently, you were wrong. And it affected the meta. Even professionally, people started doing this. And this went on for a long time. And then at one of the Intel Extreme Masters, which was an event that still goes on, I don't think they do League anymore, one of the Chinese teams rocked up and they had 2 in mid and only 1 at the bottom and 1 at the top. And they destroyed all of the competition because nobody knew how to handle it. because it wasn't something that was set in stone. It was an opinion that had just got out of hand. So this team turned up and they decimated the entire group. So opinions can sometimes end up seeming like fact when in reality they're not, and it only takes that one person to do something really awesome, and if you stifle their creativity, we'll never see it. We'll never see it. But yeah, toxic online content is, I'm sure most people that would be watching this at any point are going to be aware of what some forms of toxic online content are, right? Things like clickbait news that's built to outrage you. Other forms of toxic online content, news stories that state something that is completely unnecessary to state. Good example. I live in the United States. I'm not from the United States, as you can tell. If a white person kills another white person with a gun, or several people with a gun, then a man has killed a bunch of people. You would often say gunman kills 7. If the person is black, they'll say black man shoots 7 people. Well, that's then toxic content, because you're stating the race when the race shouldn't matter. The fact of the matter is some dude shot 7 people. It doesn't matter what the color of his skin was. And they don't do it for a Caucasian person. For a white person, they'll only do it for a black person. Now, all of that has effects on public opinion and public sway. Like what people think about certain races or belief systems or sexualities, genders, etc. And it's just the way that the news media knows that they can get you to click on it, because people like to feel outraged. People love feeling outraged. Back in the day, we used to call them drama llamas. People that just really liked drama. They'd do anything for it. They'd do anything to seek out the drama. But, you know, that's what people are like. So this is one of the longest parts of this process, is just block coloring. Bloop, bloop. But there's a lot of I think that's sky. We shall treat that as sky. Obviously, most famously at the moment, in terms of toxic online content, would be all of the nonsense Fox News just got into all that trouble for. Where they knew they were lying, but they were spreading misinformation because they knew that people would click on and read. They knew that people would tune in and read and watch and stuff like that. That's what they counted on. But toxic online content doesn't necessarily have to be online journalism. That's what we found. Actually, some of the biggest affecting things in terms of toxic online content actually stems from people like me and many of other people that are on YouTube, where they will spout an opinion as fact. And, you know, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, but we don't need to see them. And they'll do things. They'll start beef with another YouTuber, and they'll behave in certain ways that are less than desirable. when you're making content, you're essentially a pillar of community on the world stage, and you don't have to be squeaky clean. I swear. You don't have to be stupidly squeaky clean or anything. But I think you can swear or curse and not be an arse, you know. But there's some great examples, and I'm not going to mention any of the YouTubers' names or Twitch users' names because, let's be honest, their fan base is toxic because they tend to be toxic. But you could look up online about harassment things and stuff like that. Like type in Twitch player banned toxic, and you'll get the sort of people that I'm sort of referring to. They will often use. So interestingly, slight breakaway. It's going to come back around. We do this. We go off on a tangent. It will come back around. This whole thing, it seems like a character. This is the only barrier between who I am as a person and who you guys are. That's why I needed to do the whole camera thing, because I didn't want there to be a great amount of barriers between us. There are some people online that use this, or whatever sort of persona that they have online, as a shield to bounce away any repercussions for bad behavior. And there's instances of these people online. Again, you can Google it, where they will behave inappropriately. They'll behave in a way that they know deep down is wrong. But then when they get called out on it, it's not them, it's their persona, it's their character. You know, my fans like this thing. It's a part of my brand. It's not, change your brand. It's like Coca-Cola changed their ingredients after 100 years. You're not bigger than Coca-Cola. All right, fuck you. All right, change your attitude. If Coke can change their ingredients, you can change your attitude. And if people don't like you for being you, then, you know, that's all good. It don't matter, man. It wasn't meant to be. I have several regrets about doing so many blades of grass. I was really trying to get, like, the fact that me and Lag are small by getting these nice sort of swooping blades of grass in, but when it gets to painting, I have some regrets. It'll be worth it in the end. Sort of. Possibly. I mean, I don't know. You never know how these things are going to come out. I could get like 70% of the way through this and just be like, I hate it! I have painted outside the lines because I'm special. Right, there we go. Let's get all of that in. So, as I was saying, it's not just limited to online journalists. The biggest issue actually stems from YouTube content creators that fuel like a toxic environment, this toxic sort of fan base. And they can be very difficult to temper as they rile up. Oh, there is so much random bits of sky back here. I have so many regrets. So many regrets. Okay. The worst part is like once this is done, there's going to be like a gradient put on this, and some of this might end up being white anyway, but I can't skip it because I know that it won't be done right, and it'll eat away at my soul every time I look at it, even though it won't be visible. I'll swear blind that I can see it because that's the sort of person I am. I'll be like, I'm sure there's an error in there. So I actually, I held a poll under one of my other accounts that has a bunch of the old esports people in, and people that I used to play online games with who no longer play online games. Because I wanted to find out why they stopped playing online games. And the number one cause was just toxic behavior online. Which is really sad when you think about it. Like, some people whose hobby, whose passion was Minecraft, no longer play Minecraft purely because of the community. And I know it sounds like I'm picking on the Minecraft community, but it's because it's a community that I have been in and around, and I've seen firsthand and spoke to people who other people would definitely deem as toxic. There are plenty of bad sort of behavioral traits that go along with Minecraft in terms of content creating, but Minecraft more specifically in the building community. There's a lot of toxic behavior. And I'm not a huge fan of it, so I kind of just keep myself to myself. I don't want to. I never want to offend anybody, even somebody that probably needs to be offended. I never want to offend them, so I try to just keep myself to myself, and hope that whatever it is that they're doing, they'll alter their ways. They probably won't, but you know, all you can do is hope, right? You know, some of these I definitely can. Some of these I definitely can cheat on, and I will. So that there is going to be blue, as is that bit there. That bit there, and that bit there, and that bit there, and that bit there. Those would be blue. Yes. That's a leaf, so that bit. Ooh. Ah, yeah, see, that one there I can't do because I've not closed those sections off because I am a fool. But that's all of that bit. So is it... Did I really colour that much and before I... Okay. So we're going to do select, modify, expand by 1 pixel. Like that. And then we should just be able to use this. We can scale that up and we can just fill that in there. This bit down here we'll have to manually do though. Manually do. Oh, there was this bit here as well. I didn't need to manually do this bit, but I missed it, so I may as well manually do it now. We'll check around Lag's body as well. No reason, I just like looking at him. Whoops. Ah, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that bit is... Oh, no, wait, that bit there would be sky. That bit there isn't. That's all rocks and wood. Okay, there we go. That's all the sky bit done. I think. Pretty sure. So the next largest thing I think is probably the can, and that's going to be much easier because it's pretty much round and it's isolated and we don't have all of the nonsense there. So I'm just going to select a color. Oh, hang on a second. I didn't give that its own layer. Let's just undo that. There we go. So the reason I'm giving everything its own layer is because later on we can isolate and gradient things differently. I think just... in terms of avoiding them, I tend to just keep myself to myself for the most part. I think one of the major things is like content creators want to make content. That's sort of like their primary goal, but really for a lot of them, their primary goal isn't really making content. Their primary goal is making money. And money will be the death of creativity. It makes people lazy, it makes people bitter, it makes people very competitive, and it kind of harbors envy and frustration, which are natural killers to creativity. It's very difficult to be creative if you're getting angry with yourself because you've not managed to do something that you think should have earned money or should have got more views or whatever. But I for the most... Oh, don't need to do that, I just need to erase that. For the most part, I just try and avoid a lot of communities. Which is counterintuitive, and it becomes problematic in a certain way because I've met a couple of creators that I know if I would have gone and done some stuff with them as they wanted or had suggested, that my channel would have grown rapidly and exponentially. So the temptation's there to jump on board with that. You want to be like, oh my god, that'll grow my channel, it'll be fun. But then you sort of have to look at the person and go, but it's with that person. And again, I'm not going to ever name any names, but it was just one of those things like, okay, well, I don't want to make content with that person. I don't want to be associated with that, because at some point, their anchor, at some point, somebody's going to call them out. And I don't want to be attached to it. I don't want, it's damage prevention, That means that, my channel grows at a slower rate than a lot of other YouTubers, because I keep myself to myself and I do my own thing. But then on the flip side of that, what people get out of me is pure me, and it's honest. And if I don't have any ideas for something, I'll just say, hey, look, I don't have any ideas for this. it's fine. It's fine not having ideas. It's fine being sort of stuck in a rut. I kind of like being stuck in a rut a lot of the time. That could just be me being masochistic, though. But in terms of not becoming a toxic online creator, or not becoming, making sure you don't make toxic online content, I think part of the way that I look at it is, would that have been accepted around my family dinner table? You know, like, if I'd have said this, if I'd have released that, or, you know, whatever it may have been, towards, say, one of my family members, like one of my siblings, would my mother have slapped me? And if the answer is yes, then I'm like, okay, well, that's probably too far. Now, fortunately, I had a relatively strange upbringing, and my mother is an absolute battle axe, and I could get away with a lot. Except, actually, I'll give you an example. So I used to do a lot of pranks on my family when I was young. I got into pranks massively. Not when I was a teenager, when I was young, like 7, 8, 9, that sort of age. And I played a lot of pranks on them. A hell of a lot of pranks on them. Absolutely insane things. I switched the salt and the sugar. I ground up the gravy powder and moved it over with the sugar. Wow, why is this song so much louder than the others? Miss me with this rubbish. I would put buckets of water on top of door frames, so as somebody opened up a door, it would like fall and soak them. I would put itching powder in clothes drawers. You know, I was a nightmare, but I got away with a lot of that. Up until one incident. But please bear in mind that I was young, and you know, when you're young, every child, and this is not a quote of mine. This comes from he was an actor, comedy actor. His name's Donald Glover. A lot of people know him now as Childish Gambino because he did Redbone and that blew up. He actually said this, and it's 100% true. He said every child is a little Hitler, because they don't have any empathy yet. They don't have any understanding of empathy, and I was no different. I didn't think about things. So on one occasion, I took 𝗕𝗢𝗫, which is like hair removal cream. You know, like ladies put it on their legs, it like put it on for like a couple of minutes, and then you wash it off, and then all of the hair's gone. I put it in the shampoo. Which, although is funny to a degree, that was the point where my parents were like, hey, you've taken this too far, you need to stop. And that sort of like, that was like my learning bit of, okay, I shouldn't do that. So I think a lot of it is just sort of like the way I see it is just whether that would have got me into trouble. And that's sort of like where if I think, oh, that would have got me into trouble, then I just don't do it. Not hiding behind any sort of, it sounds a bit crazy because this is coming from me, who is clearly hiding his face. But as I say, this is just an identity thing, and my personality, everything you get out of me in anything that I do is me. I've always been extremely upfront with you all. One of my very early videos about making content, I spoke about me having LLI and stuff, and I've mentioned on my Discord about having seizures, and people are aware, like, of all of my shortcomings. I don't hide them. They're a part of who I am. So one of the main sort of reasons that I sort of haven't done away with him. He's still one of the issues that I started to see crop up was that people were seeing 𝗕𝗫𝗫 as a character, which just isn't the case. And yeah, most of the time it's just me. When I'm playing on Minecraft, when I'm playing on any game, and you guys will have know this, you've seen me playing on a bunch of games, I get silly. I'm a silly person to begin with. I enjoy being silly. Life is too short to be serious. I live by a very strict code, which many people know. Stems from a few years ago. I say a few years ago. It's 2, so about 8 years ago. I very nearly died. And when I say very nearly, I mean I very, very nearly died. I had to have chest compressions and stuff. They were about giving up hope on it ever happening. I have a thing called 𝗕𝗢𝗜𝗏𝗏 now in my sternum as a result of that, which I've spoke about here and there. And I realized after that, just life's too short. Life's way, 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 way too short. So now I just want people to have fun, and I enjoy having fun. I find it very difficult to be serious. So I tend to just be silly when I'm playing on games. But that is just me. So like, one of the early things that people liked on my channel was the boat song. There was the boat song and 𝗕𝗢𝗫𝗛𝗏. That wasn't like, I didn't go backwards and forth. I know there's nothing wrong with this, okay? I've got no real issue with it at all. I understand that it's a key principle of making content, but a lot of content creators, when they're doing things in Minecraft, they all do multiple takes. So they'll go through and they'll say something, they're like, no, I should add an inflection there, it'll sound funnier. They'll go back and they'll redo it. And then it'll sound more funny, and they're like, cool, that's good, that's the keeper, and then they'll move on and record something else. A lot of the time it's just me playing. I don't tend to do like multiple takes unless I forget what it is that I'm saying halfway through, which does occur because I have short-term memory loss. So sometimes I'll get halfway through saying something and then I just deviate on this wild tangent and then forget what it is I'm saying. I'll stumble over my words. It becomes an absolute nightmare, a mess. And it's, you know, at that point I go, look, stop, rewind, go again. Explain what you're doing and don't stare at the frog that just jumped into the camera frame, which had occurred in season 2. So things like the boat song were just, I was sailing, it took ages, really early on in season 1 of Random Craft, and I just started singing the boat song. It wasn't like a planned thing. It wasn't anything that I'd thought. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to sing this because it'll be funny on camera. That's just what I do. Some of the randoms that hang out with me a lot, like 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗕𝗢𝗏𝗏𝗏, can attest that I just do stupidly weird stuff all the time. It is a part of who I am. I like being silly. I've sung many a weird song to 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 before, but then I also make various nipple comments to 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as well. But that's completely off topic, and we don't need to discuss lag nipples today. So a lot of the time I just be silly. And we don't do any takes or anything like that. We just go through, we get the things done, and we move on. There's an honesty to that. I find that you know, what the viewer is getting is me. It's not a character, even though they might think it's a character. And that's why the box head thing has gone away a little bit, because it's not really a character. That's just who I am. And some of that is my fault. I do a lot of story-driven stuff when it comes to Minecraft. A lot of voices. Obviously, there are characters that I portray in there, and 𝗕𝗫𝗫𝗏 has a story that is sort of fictitious that I play through. But it's not really like a character, as in it's somebody completely different to who I am. It's more of a caricature of who I am. So I am genuinely, in real life, I have a phobia of rabbits. I don't like them. Now, There's a reason for this. When my little sister was about 3, a rabbit bit her thumb off. And it was a very traumatic experience for a sort of 7-year-old me to watch a white rabbit with blood all around its mouth with, you know, a thumb next to it. And I'm aware that it's irrational, but you can't help phobias. That's why they're called phobias. Now, I can tolerate being near a rabbit. I just don't want it near me in terms of on my person. If someone wants to hand me a rabbit, I'm like, that just, no. You keep it, okay? You keep the rabbit with you. I don't want to hold the rabbit. Don't make me hold your rabbit. But 𝗕niGMA as a character, in terms of the thing, because it's still me, he just doesn't want to be anywhere near rabbits, so he runs away from them. He'll kill them if they get too close to him. He has dreams about ending rabbits, but that's just sort of like my childlike brain having fun with myself and how silly I am with my own phobias, as opposed to it being like something that's completely different. So I think that's a good way of sort of like making sure that things never get toxic. A very long-winded answer, I know. We deviated somewhere probably. But by maintaining and staying true to yourself, I think is a very good way of ensuring. Another thing is just not being a dickhead. That sounds like really harsh, right? I'm aware that really sounds harsh, but a lot of content creators will make these sacrifices that just aren't worth it. They just aren't worth it. It doesn't matter if about getting 20,000 views on a video, 2 million views on a video. It doesn't matter if that video earns you £50 million. If you earn $50 million off of making YouTube, it doesn't matter if you die alone. Trust me, it sucks. That was the biggest wake-up call for me. That's sort of 8 years ago. I was an extremely well-respected designer, and I nearly died. And when I came to, there wasn't anyone. And I realized that I had prioritized my work over my friends. And I have sworn by never doing that ever again for anything. And that includes making content. So sometimes, and I've let you guys know on my Discord, there's sometimes where I don't make a video for 2 months because I'm spending time with my wife and one of my friends has had a bad time and I want to help them out and cheer them up and, you know, make their life good, make them happy, make them smile. I can make people online smile whenever, you know. If you're around and I throw on a live stream, we can have some fun together. But I don't want to ever put a friend or a family member in the position of not being able to get my attention or my help when they need it. So one of the reasons that there was no stream on Monday was Mrs. 𝗕niGMA, and I've mentioned this on my Discord, I think. Mrs. 𝗕niGMA has a spinal injury. She has damaged the L4 and L5 part of her spine, damaged the nerve, and at the moment, although it's on the mend now, she has to go for some MRIs and stuff like that. But yeah, lost all sensation and almost all movement in her legs. That I had to address. I am a husband. I'm a husband first before I'm a content creator. So that had to take precedent, as you can imagine. So I think that's another thing of just sort of like just staying honest with yourself, knowing that no matter what goal that you may have, whether it's making 15 videos a day or, you know, whatever arbitrary nonsense that, you know, content creators tend to do, that can disappear in an instant. Your kid gets sick, it's gone. Your wife or your husband, or you know, mother or father, sister, brother, you know, dog, well, it don't matter. Like, if it's family or a friend, that has to stop. Like, it has to be the thing that goes first, not the other way around. You can't put your loved ones' lives on hold. There's no pause button for life. There is a pause button for games. So in terms of gaming, I will always take that step away and focus on that life element first. But a lot of YouTubers don't. They really don't. And then, you know, that has these knock-on effects, and you'll often see YouTubers even talking about it, how they lost a lot of friends when they started making YouTube videos, and the primary reason is just that they're not there for their friends anymore. It doesn't have to be like that. One of the ways around it I feel very blessed to be able to do it. I would never tell him to his face, because I tend to enjoy winding him up way more than I do being nice to him. But 𝗕𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗔𝗗 is one of my favorite people ever. He works so hard, and he has a really lovely family, and he's just a genuinely nice, super laid-back guy. And I'm really good friends with him. And I'm very fortunate with the fact that I get to just chill out with him. Look, I just get to hang out with him. We get to play games together, and we both get something out of it. It's great if you have a friend that is making content and wants to make content with you, who is an actual friend, not just some like a random person online or anything like that, but is somebody that you genuinely really get along with. You enjoy spending time with them. And actually, this summer, although I'm not too sure now with Mrs. Enigma's injuries, I might have to postpone it until like maybe fall, so like autumn time. But I'm supposed to be heading to Virginia, which is the state that 𝗕𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗔𝗗 lives in, to go there for a week and just hang out, just chill out there with 𝗕𝗓monster and Mrs. Monster and their kid, and have some fun, take him some stuff from the UK, show him the way of beans on toast and stuff. I've even been in talks with Slippin about possibly coming over as well and just all meeting up, you know. And when I do that, maybe we'll do like a shared sort of vlog stream or something, like not a game necessarily, but, you know, just all three of us doing something, you know, beating Slippin with sticks. I think people would pay to see me and 𝗕𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗔𝗗 in real life beat Slippin to death with sticks. Not to death, that's too far, but certainly injured. But yeah, you know, that he's a genuinely good, someone who I consider to be a good friend. I'm very fortunate enough to be able to. One of the ways that I'm able to cheer him up when he's having a stressful week is by going, "Hey, let's jump on a game together," and vice versa. And I think that's one of the reasons that he wants to probably play Grounded with me tomorrow. He knows about all the stuff, you know, with Mrs. Enigma and all the stressors and stuff and strains that have been on me recently in relation to all of that, and I think he just wants to bro down tomorrow, and that's what we're making the thumbnail for. It's just, I'm putting this effort in because it's for a bro down session, so I'm not just going to throw a thumbnail together. We'll probably end up playing on Grounded a bunch, so, you know, I can reuse this thumbnail for a bunch of stuff. Grass. I hate painting grass and trees. When I did games design, one of the first commercial projects that I did was actually for an interactive 3D playable golf course for a golf club that was celebrating their bicentenary. They'd been there for 200 years. They were celebrating. They wanted this big thing. I had to go and rotoscope and 3D model and just so much grass, because there's different types of grass. I don't know if you know this. Golf has different types, and they wanted it to be as realistic as possible. But there's these different types of grass. The different blades of grass affect the ball in different ways, and they put it in different areas, and all this nonsense. And it was absolute insanity. And I'm there like, oh my god, I've got to draw all of this, and model all of this, and texture all of this. And by the end of the 3 months, I wanted to end it all. It was horrible. So this is bringing back some really bad memories for me. It was a good 3D tour though. It came out good in the end, even though I absolutely despised life. It was a lot of fun in the end, but mostly because they made the foolish mistake of allowing Enigma to get in control of a golf buggy. Now, I don't like golf. I don't like the clothes in golf. I don't like the silliness with golf. I don't like the whole shouting for when you hit something. I don't like the arbitrary ruling system. I don't like the wind. I don't like the dimples in the ball. I don't like the silly little clubs. I don't like the fact that it's for the elite. I don't like the fact it's a waste of land. There is so much I don't like about golf, but mostly it's the little dimples in the ball. And I had no interest in it. But I 100% understand why people go and play golf. Golf carts are so much fun. You have no idea. Unless you've been in one, you've got no idea how absolutely ludicrously fun they are. Also, I ruined the 18th hole. With the golf cart, I should state. They'd brought over grass from California. Some weird, it was like California blue something grass, blue, I don't know, some rare grass anyway. They'd had it imported. It was put down on the green of this 18th hole. And we were there taking pictures of all of this stuff because we had to make it, you know, 1-for-1 representation of what was there. And this grass had only just been laid, essentially. They didn't warn us about it, and we were relatively young and foolish. I was in my 20s, but for me that's like 12. And yeah, we were doing like wheel spins and stuff, didn't realize how close to the 18th hole we got, and we tore chunks out of it. They were not very happy. We weren't allowed back after that. So whenever we needed other photos, they sent one of their assistants out to go and take more photos. I think they were scared we were really, really destroying the place. That, and when we got there, the guy said, oh, we should really make you wear some of the actual correct attire before we go out on the course. And me and a gentleman called Tommy, who... Tommy is an interesting guy. He's a really, really nice guy, but he's like a punk. Not like the American thing of like, oh, well, a punk. I mean, no, he was an actual punk. And still is. He's really into his punk music and ska music and stuff, and we both looked at each other like there's no way that that's happening. Just, it's not happening. Neither of us are wearing any of that stuff. But yeah, golf carts, super fun. Golf, awful sport. I don't even know if... Is golf even a sport? I don't think golf's even a sport, you know? If golf's a sport, we have to start adding so many other things as sports. You know, tossing cavers, that's a sport. That's more of a sport than golf. Counting beans. That'll have to be a sport now. Welcome to the bean counting competition. Why did we go so far out the line there? We'll do this. Yeah, just remembered I can do this on these. Is there any more over here? No, there's those there. I think that is all of them. Modify, expand by 1 pixel. So we've nearly got all of the blocking in. We've got the leaf at the front. I've tipped a few carts in my life. They're fun to destroy. They're very fun to destroy. So at the moment it looks very flat, but that's because it's flat. We've not started doing any of the other stuff yet. We've got to get all the blocking in before we start doing the other stuff. Get down dirty down here. Well, there. Oh, possibly. I won't worry too much about sort of tiny little finesse parts, because a lot of it will just get blanketed when I start doing the line gradients, the line grad technique. I just have to get a lot of the blocks in. That's like the main part, is just ensuring all of the main block bits are in place, with the loose colours that they will end up being. Because some of these colours will end up being slightly different. We'll alter some bits and stuff like that as time goes on. But at the moment, it's essentially just colouring in. That's all this is. This is just colouring in mode. What is that bit? I think that was a leaf. I'll end up being a similar colour anyway. I'll leave that bit there. That bit there's a rock, so that bit ends up being grey. But it'll be a darker grey than that because it's further back. This, however, needs to be that colour. One of the things that would have been nice would have been doing, like, showing the process from the line art, but line art's one of those things with me. Some days it goes great. Some days it goes great, and yesterday was one of those days. I really enjoyed doing the line art for this. Other days, though, not so much. Other days it goes absolutely horrible, and I hate life. And then I get very upset with my own existence, and I go into a room and cry in a corner. I do have a dedicated crying corner. Okay, that leaf there. I want to be sort of maybe slightly more yellow toned. So one of the things that we where is it? Go into here. Go into nya. And then you want to go into, I think it was that folder? Yes, it was that folder. I just drag that into there. So this here is line grad. So we have like this gradient that's on lag monster here, and we have a gradient that's on the Enigma box, and there's gradients on Shallon's head and stuff as well. So that's what we'll end up with. Something like this is what this will end up all looking like. And I'll leave that open because it's nice to go back and have a little look at it from time to time. I mostly liked how miserable Lag looked in that in that picture. He looks so pissed. But I started doing a lot of sort of more there we go, that's a bit better. More sort of like adding some stuff in that was a little bit more unique into thumbnails and stuff. Just because, well, two reasons. One, I could, and two, I just wanted to put a little bit more effort in. It's very easy to, like, when something's really easy, I tend to get bored. That's not like a... that's a me problem, 100%. If I think something's easy, I get bored with it really quick, and I just don't want to do it anymore. So... rather than messing around with... just throw in screenshots on, which I can do in like 5 minutes. You know, it doesn't take long to take a nice looking screenshot in Minecraft and throw a thumbnail together. And there's nothing, again, there's nothing wrong with it, and I still do it from time to time with a bunch of things because it's sometimes the best way to go. But if it's something like this, I'd rather try and get something really, really proper done. Some of that is that, as well as it being thumbnails, I'll be able to have them as prints for myself in the future, so I can have like a collection of custom posters that I have printed of different eras of Enigma with, you know, Lag Monster and Shallon and stuff. But this one's a bit special because it's the first one, as I said earlier, without box head Enigma, just regular Enigma. So it's a bit special just because of that. So it probably will end up being some wall art at some point. The funny thing is that colouring often takes longer than just doing the line art. I think by this point, I think I was done with doing the line art. It didn't take me too long to get the line art done. I'd missed a section. There we go. Let's get that bit in. that bit there, right? Let's get that bit done as well. That's that bit. That was a bit bigger than I thought it was, to be fair. Okay. Switch back to the lighter. And get these in. Those ones at the very front will be even lighter again. Zip, zip, zoom! So one of the things that we're going to be doing soon... so yesterday was Retro Rewind Wednesday. I love playing retro games. I have been a nerd gamer all my life. Since before it was cool. That sounds hipsterish. But there was genuinely a time where if you played on video games, you were the... Like, if you didn't play sports and you weren't like, you know, Giga Chad, then you were like, worthless. Ow. I had seizures. I still have seizures, but I had seizures as a child. I had asthma. I had a heart murmur. Sports and me didn't really get along until I really hit puberty and my body just sort of went and I grew tall really quickly. But yeah, there was a time where playing on games was not cool. But one of the things that I have planned is a stream series, as I mentioned earlier, called Around the World in 80 Plays. So each week on a Wednesday, and it's going to be a short while before we start it, but we're going to play on a different game that was developed in a different country and try and work our way around the world in 80 unique games from different countries in streams. So some countries we may end up visiting twice, but we're going to try and find the wackiest, weirdest, most bizarre games if we can of them and play through them. Hey Mapleflower, welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a really glorious day. So the idea is sort of like pick out different countries and stuff, and because there's a lot of work involved in that, on my Discord I'm going to start a sort of area. It'll be an event, but it's going to be a long running event where you guys can suggest games from different countries. So if you're aware that, I don't know, I'm just gonna pick out Saudi Arabia popped into my head, like if there's a weird game from Saudi Arabia, I don't know, Oil Tycoon or something, that is really just bizarre or interesting in some strange way, then you can like pull it forwards and then it will get added to the list of potential places that I visit as we journey around the world. Yeah, that's the idea. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do. There's a few countries that have released absolutely insane games, and there are some games that aren't particularly insane that I know are interesting in terms of how they affected the games industry. Actually, no, I say they weren't weird. There's a game called Postal. I don't know if I'll be able to do that one on YouTube. I should be good to do it on Twitch, although I'll have to check Twitch's terms and conditions, but I'm positive I'm not allowed to stream that on YouTube. It's a first-person shooter. It's very graphic and very grotesque. It's large. I will zoom out in a moment. Bear with me. They're large blades of grass. There we go. Let's whoop, there we go. So me and Lag Monster tomorrow are going to be streaming playing on Grounded. So I'm making I'm in the process of drawing and colouring in me and Lag being small. But yeah, Postal was an interesting game, mostly because it was banned, I think, in 53 countries. But I know a fair amount about Postal because when I did computer game design and development, one of the modules that we had to do as part of that course was violent video game effects on adolescents and children. And basically explaining why ratings were introduced into games. Now, obviously, it was Mortal Kombat's fault. But I wanted to find a game developer that I could talk to and find out a little bit about why they made these violent games, what the purpose was, whether they felt it was justified, the game being banned. So Postal was developed by... I just saw that Oxford... Oh, it was a tip. Set your browser sound to metal pipe falling sound effect for game. It wakes you up when you open a new tab. I see what you do there. Hey, Taco! Actually, I'm glad you're here, Taco. I'm always glad when you're around. One of the things that I have planned for next week, and I wanted to check with you first, and I was going to mention this on Discord, but I decided against it. For this Monday coming, I'm going to be taking a slight detour away from, so on Saturday, I was going to be doing a Minecraft stream, and I've decided that I need to spend some time doing some family stuff. So on Monday, rather than doing a Minecraft stream, I'm going to do a Meme Monday. Not mean, like, haha, screw you, but meme, M-E-M-E. And I'm going to try and not laugh at your videos. I've only watched the one, and I failed. So I think it will be entertaining to try and not mean memes. I actually find the metal pipe sound very soothing. My friend, you should get into plumbing. You'll love it. Good old copper pipes. Has anybody here seen the new Mario movie, by the way? Shalon has been telling me that I should watch it because he thinks I won't hate it as much as I say I'm gonna hate it. I disagree. I strongly disagree. Oh, Taco said it's pretty good. God damn it, Taco. Why have you done this? You are no longer my child. I will have to check it out at some point, I guess. I actually, I really want to watch, there's a Japanese version. Obviously there's a Japanese version. Goes without saying. The Japanese version of the of the Mario Brothers movie has a completely different script. Apparently, according to Shigeru Miyamoto, and he's a guy that should be in the know on the matter, but apparently it has a completely different script. So I'm curious to know what the differences are, which means I'm going to have to bloody watch it, because I have to know what the differences are. Which is... He's played me. That's what he's done, isn't it? That's what Shigeru Miyamoto has done there. He's played me. Played me like a goddamn bassoon. I just found out Peach is 18 and Bowser is 82. I'll be honest though, how old's Mario? Because there's no way that he's 18, not with that thick mustache and those bushy eyebrows. He's got to be, yeah, so still not a great look, Mario. Someone needs to do an animation of Luigi is 22 somehow. He was in the old. He was a lot younger than Mario in the old in the sort of like original like 1991 or 92 movie with Bob Hoskins in. I think Luigi was supposed to be like quite considerably younger than Mario. Damn it! God damn it, Janet! Yeah, someone needs to do an animation of Mario getting arrested for inappropriate behavior towards Peach. It's not a way a 40-odd-year-old should be behaving. I mean, I suppose she's legal. That's at least an upside for some Japanese content. Definitely, definitely pretty tame in comparison to some. Ah, Mario, child-friendly, 4-year-old trying to bang an 18-year-old, 82-year-old trying to kidnap her, child-friendly. E for everyone, child-friendly. Luigi, what are you doing? Pull it down. What are you doing with Toad? I know I said to sit on a mushroom. I'm gonna stop now. But you get my point. It's not a good look for Mario. You draw so methodical. Yeah, it's art therapy. Welcome to Art Therapy with Enigma. Please take off your shoes. Get comfortable next to the fire. There is no fire. I'm not allowed fire anymore. The men said. What colour do I want these to be? That is the question. Probably a mix between that and that. So something about there. With a little bit more greeniness. Greeniness! There we go. If you could change something in the Mario Brothers movie, what would you change? How about that? Because I think that would be a good... Because if you say everything, then I know you're lying. So one of the things that 𝗲𝗢𝗓 said he would change, I will tell you now. I've not watched it, so I don't know if I would change anything. But 𝗲𝗢𝗓 said he didn't like Donkey Kong's voice. He said he would have changed Donkey Kong's voice. He wasn't a fan of it. In the Mario game, someone used the size of the average tennis racket to work out the size of Luigi's bulge, and then worked out Bowser is 4 feet. Fair. Don't know why I changed. I forgot most of it. Do you know, that is the number one thing that I have heard is that it is very forgettable. So the thing that I heard is that it's very nostalgia heavy. Like it sends you on a lot of nostalgia trips, so you think you enjoy it. But then you don't actually remember anything that really happens in the movie by the time you leave. So 𝗲𝗢𝗓's watched it like 2 or 3 times now, I think, or 3 or 4. He keeps going back and watching it. Which is very masochistic of him, in my opinion, but then I have a biased opinion because I don't like the sound of Mario's voice. I'm not a fan, alright? I know lots of other people online have said this. I know that it's not an uncommon opinion to hold. I'm gonna mispronounce that. I'm guessing it's Moshimatra? It's either Moshimatra or Moshimata. I am... Keep butchering that. But hey, thanks for the sub. Absolute legend. 3 or 4 times, Jesus. Yeah, it's definitely not something I would have done. But, you know, each to their own. Each to their own, I guess. He's... Hello! As long as he's happy, that's all I mind about. I am doing just dandy. How are you? How's everybody doing? Is everybody having a nice day today? Is anybody prepared? Is anybody prepared for the end of the world coming tomorrow? Anybody just gonna be a new king coronated? I think tomorrow. I think that's when it's supposed to be. The world could just implode in on itself because we have a new king. It probably won't though. I might be reading too much into it. I'm prepared. And so about the meme thing, do you mean you're just gonna react to the memes in 𝗕𝗓𝗄? Yeah, I'm going to try and not laugh at your videos live. I'm gonna try. I have to not react. I don't know how well it will go because I lost almost immediately on the one, so I don't know how that's gonna go. No swears. Do you mean, like, am I allowed to swear, or can the content have swearing? I mean, the answer to both is I'm fine with swearing. YouTube don't, like, I'm fine, like, they won't monetize it, and that's fine. The memes have swears, that's fine. I've been swearing most of this stream, and I did just mention about how I think Luigi probably... Okay, OBS. What type of humor? I would probably say inappropriate. No, I have a relatively broad sense of humor. I grew up. Let me skim through my meme videos. Oh God. I find most things funny. Oh, I missed that. Look, these little crappy pieces of grass down at the bottom. They're the same color as this. I don't actually know if that'd be alright, but you know, they are now. These ones would be that, but the other bits would be more yellow. Yellow. What you making? Hey, Magic. Hey, Magic. Hey, everyone. It's Magic. Say hello to Magic. He's a beautiful little boy. He's one of... He is my original child. It was Magic's birthday the other day. A couple of weeks ago now, but you know, the other day. He was 5 years old. No, I actually saw that you were live streaming yesterday, Magic, but I was asleep at the time. I only saw it after. So when I say I saw that you were live streaming, I saw that you had done a stream. Sorry, I would have tuned in if I'd have been awake, but I had fallen asleep because I am a sleepy boy. Time zones are hard. Time zones are hard. I 100% agree, Magic. Did you have fun streaming? What did you stream? Everyone, Magic is now streaming. Not right now. Don't go right now, but Magic streams. And he's funny and adorable, so you should probably watch him from time to time. Also, if you like Minecraft and you like armor stands, oh boy, does he have you covered. Magic's armor stand work is second to none. Absolutely none. Just... You could argue with me, but don't. I think that was all of them, right? Is there another thing that I've missed? Of course there is. There's always something I missed. Different stuff. Different stuff. Random games. That's fair. Well, today, Magic, I am drawing / colouring in and painting a thumbnail for tomorrow's stream with Lag Monster. I made a mistake. That's what my parents said. Alright, there we go. So we just have the giant rock in the background to do. And oh, I missed some... God, look at this. Look, I missed this. I'm blaming Magic. Magic, how could you make me do this? I thought I was done with the grass. I mean, that just seems unfair, Maple Flower. I never met your parents. They shouldn't call me a mistake. This is very cute. Thanks, Magic. It's me and the horny boy. Alright, so now we just have the giant rock and me and Lag to block colour. And then we get to move on to all of the shading nonsense. Actually, wait a minute, speaking of which, wasn't there a load of bloody... Didn't I... Oh, it's lower down, isn't it? It's because there's a bit... Yeah, I know why. It's fine, don't worry. Don't worry, chat, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I said don't worry about it. Thank you. Alright, there we go. So what was one of the games that you played, Magic? You said random games, but what was one of the random games? Give us a taster. Come on, sell yourself. I'm trying to help you here. These people might go to your channel. One of them might. They might not, but you know, they might. Advertise yourself. Come on, I'm giving you a free pass as my little Magic friend. Rocks. This song has a hell of a groove. It's not even a groove anymore, it's a goddamn crevasse! Oh, you played Vault Hunters? I don't play Vault Hunters, did you? Sorry, I had a stroke there. You played Vault Hunters. Peanut tried to get me to play that a while back, and I really did mean to. I downloaded it and everything, and then just didn't. What was that? Oh, we have many voices around here. I enjoy doing lots of silly voices. You will often hear lots of silly voices. A lot of the voices in Random Craft that are in my episodes are just me doing voices. Some of the randoms, when we did Copperhead Creek, Magic will remember those times. When we did Copperhead Creek in Season 1 of Random Craft, a couple of the randoms also wanted to have versions of ST, my little Steam bot that I had that ran my shop. So they asked what effects I used to get the voice. And it was just like, I didn't. I put a chorus on there. That was it. The rest of it was all me. And they were like, well, how did you get the voice to trip up and stuff? And it was just like, I didn't. It was just all done with my... So, yeah, I enjoy doing silly voices. Like, I think the very first thing that ST says in season 1 of Random Craft is he's like, hello and welcome. Yeah, I've always enjoyed doing silly voices. It was one of the things that I ended up doing essentially by mistake when I studied games development. Because when you're studying it, you kind of need to put together these games, right? But you can't. You're a student. You can't pay someone. Jesus Christ! I was eating noodles for most of my meals. I couldn't afford anything. I'd spend it all on drugs and hookers. No, I just did the cost of living. So I ended up having, you know, very limited money. So the only way you could really get a project done was do it yourself. So I started voicing a bunch of characters in games and things that I was making, and then what games that friends were making. I did voices for some of them, and kind of just went from there. And then I started playing D&D, and we had lots of sort of strange characters when I was running campaigns for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games, and that, as they say, was history. It was the same with the Frog God. The Frog God in Season 2 of Random Craft. That again is just me doing what I call the announcer's voice. So, you know, he sort of has this sort of deep raspiness to him. It's sort of like, I am the Enigma. So he kind of had that whole vibe. I think we've got all of the things, bar the character. What is this? I missed a bit of grass. I'm always missing blades of grass. Blades of grass everywhere. It's really why I don't show my face. There's just like 15 faces merged into mine. I have mouths everywhere that do different voices. I need to catch my usually only stick with creamsicle. I've not really done much in Season 2. I wasn't really enjoying a lot of the stuff in Season 2. Mostly, I was very busy with real life. And to quote Malcolm, life finds a way. So I ended up sort of taking a break away. Whoops. Actually, that wants to be on its own layer. Yeah, I tend to make a lot of silly voices. It tends to be what I do. Is just make lots and lots of silly voices and sing silly songs. Like the boat song. Or the llama song. But I think the boat song's more people's favourite. Although I don't know now. Maybe now it would be Fetus of the Deep. The duet that I did with Lag Monster. Oops, I just used the pen. That's not what I was after. What is this boat song? What is this boat song? Actually, yeah, you won't remember it, Magic, because it was, I think it was at Eat Fight from before you joined. I think. Pretty sure it was. Because it was only like my second episode. Bloop, bloop. I think it's in my episode rewind, actually, as well. Because I did a season 1 rewind where I kind of smushed together, condensed all of season 1 down into like one sort of bit. Hey, we don't pay you to remember things, Magic. It's fine. We don't pay you at all. Have you been doing any random craft related stuff, Magic? Been doing some armor stands? Of course you've been doing armor stands, that's all you do. All the armor stands. Alright, Maple, you have a wonderful day. Oh, you're planning to have a stream? When are you planning on streaming, Magic? Of armor standing. Ooh. Time to give Lag his face. Actually, let's cheat mode enabled. Seeing as we can now. Or we should be able to. If I could remember the right part. There we go. Bloop. Oh, probably tonight. If I am awake, I will be sure to tune in. Can you give us any sort of like sneak bit of information about it? What is it? What's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing, Magic? Magic, stop! What are you doing? Oh God, Magic, no! Pull it down! I nearly implied that you were also shoving Toad up your butt, but I won't. I respect you too much for that, Magic. I know armor stands to the city to make it more lively. Lively city. I mean, that sounds like fun. Steal my own colours from Lag's hair to do Lag's hair. I still have no idea how you have the patience to do that much armor stand work. Like I do a fair amount of armor stand work, but it's nowhere near like the nonsense that you do. It's the same as you have patience for this. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'll give you that. Alright. Now listen here, you little shit. Come around here with your logic. Get out of here with your logic. Yeah, no, you're right though. It is sort of the same sort of vibe, right? Oh, he needs eyebrows. They need to be slightly darker than his hair. Eyebrows, do you have them? Yes. There we go. Oh. Go there. Get one of those little pretty boys. What the hell do I do for the inside of his mouth? Color's the inside of Lag's mouth. I should know this. I guess I'll just go sort of like sort of dark movie purpley color. To get the nice flow of Lag's jacket in. Time for you to sleep? It is barely 3 PM. Goddamn time differences. Alright, Magic, you have a nice sleep, man. I hope you enjoy your stream later. Have fun. Oh, was it? It's silver and purple. Those I should be able to snip it with it. Yep. I should be able to do the same on those. Oh, it's colours the... Oh no, the boots have... They've got like a slight bluish tint on them, haven't they? Yes, they do. Grab that, put that in there. Select, modify, expand by 1 pixel. I should really create a shortcut for that, probably. There we go. And then these ones will just... There we go, like's all coloured. We just have me to go now, but I'm going to save me because we've been streaming for 2 hours and it is now lunchtime, so I am going to go. I'm going to make myself some lunch, but you will see the finished one of these tomorrow when I start streaming with lag, and then I'll probably share just the image without any of the text that will be on the thumbnail on my Discord as well. I'll throw it up as like a wallpaper or something just for some funs. That's going to be it from me because I need to take a break. I've been staring at the screen for a couple of hours. That's my limit. I'm going to take a break and sort some stuff, but I will be streaming tomorrow with Lag Monster at 7 PM ET. It's a weekend, or the beginning of a weekend, so you know you can stay up late if you're in the UK and watch it. It'd be like 12 PM. 12 PM? No, 12 midnight. PM is afternoon. 12 midnight. 7 p.m. Eastern time is when we'll be streaming, and we're going to be streaming Grounded, as you can tell, and having some fun, and it will be glorious. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you've all had some fun. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and continue to do so. I have been 𝗕niGMA, and I will see you later.